Hey guys, Alfredo with Alfredo's Auto Glass here in Corona, California. I'm going to be working on the 2017 Subaru Forester. I have a few techniques that I want to share with you guys so you don't break the little moldings and how to save the clips. I have 2 tips for that, and also you guys been asking me how to set the windshield by yourself with the suction cup. So I'll be going over those tips on this video. So let me get started. As you can see, I already prepped the vehicle. It's already prepped, ready to be ready to start working on it. So let me get started. So first, let me take the windshield wipers off and the cowling. I already prepped my glass. I already put the underside of the molding. It's already ready to go. So this should be a 14mm socket to remove the windshield wipers. Fairly easy. The Subarus are very easy. I like the way to remove the windshield wipers. It's always easy. They're not super tight. Okay, so now to save the upper moldings, they have some clips that hold it. Well, not a clip, like a little tab. So what you're gonna do, you see the line? Go right below the line right here and kind of push up and go very slow. I have to see so I can make sure I'm not breaking it. This is a fragile one, so be careful. You could use your finger, you could use a little bone. So this is what I was trying to pry open. So I put my tool here, push it a little bit on it and release it, and then same thing with the top, push on it and pull it up. That's the only way I'm able to save it. If you try to force it right, go right above the line, right in the middle of the line, you'll break it. I mean, you have a bigger chance of breaking it. So be very careful with that. So let me take off the other side. Same thing, go right above the line. As you can see, I'm holding down a little bit so I could do the top first. Push on it, bring it up. This one, slide it down. So it has a little guide that goes under the fender there, but same thing, just go on the side like that and then lift it up. So there goes one tip. That way you save both of them. And so now I'm going to show you the other technique to remove the bottom cowling. These clips, if you force it up, it will break really easy. As you can see, it's on there. So let me show you how. This is my way that I've been doing it for years, and it has worked perfectly fine for me. But first, let me remove this clip right here. What I use, just a hand Phillips. Push on the bottom, turn it very slowly. It's plastic, so it comes off sometimes easy, sometimes not that easy. Same thing over here. See, this one came out really easy. Very easy. Okay, so now going back on these clips right here. So I'm gonna start on the one closest to the right. What I do, I have these needle nose pliers. They have a bent to it. Put it with my hand underneath. Turn it. You see how easy that came out? As soon as you grab the, see what I'm doing, I'm turning it because I'm looking for those two little tabs that hold it in place. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I saved 1, 2, 3 one way. Now let me show you a different way. You use a long socket, 6mm socket, and you can get a ratchet or not, and just push on it, turn it at the same time. What you want to do is get very close to the clip. Let me start over here. So there it is. So push and move side to side. As you can see, sometimes it's not that easy, but it works. It does the job. I saved 2. So let me grab my pliers and do the other one with my pliers. Looks like a stubborn one, but patience is the key. There it goes. So let me remove it. Now I'll show you what I was taking off, what I was pressing. Looks like somebody worked on this vehicle before or something. They left a bolt right here. Good thing, oh yeah, I don't know where this came from, but somebody's been on this car before. So let me show you what I was doing with the pliers. So come close. So you see these little tabs? I was pushing these little tabs, and once you get that tab, then it releases it. But sometimes the clip is in one way, you end up opening it more, but that's why I turn. And I keep pushing the cowling up away from the bottom until that I get the correct angle, then it releases it very well. So same thing with the sockets. What you want to do, just push it all the way to the top. As you can see, once it fits in there, it releases the pressure off the tabs, and it allows you to release it. So there's those 2 tips. I'm going to remove the heating compartment there. Okay, so in this windshield, I'm going to use the spider. I just thought of using the spider today, so it seems to me very easy. So remember, I always like to give about a foot. Look where I'm going to be inserting it. There's a little mark right here, red mark, you see? That's telling me to stop. Alright, so let me show you another tip about when the cowling it could fall off. I mean the fiber line could fall off. Just grab yourself a few daubers. I'll probably grab 3 of them. You can make your own little pins. So as you can see, I made my own sharp little pins. So what this is going to do, I'm going to put it in the urethane, pushing it in. That way I know there so far is right where it's supposed to be. Do another one here in the middle. And last, right here where this little curve, you see this little curve right here? That's kind of scary right there, so put another one there. So make sure your fiber line's on top of those clips, of those pins. You see how they're moving? That means the fiber line's right on top. This side of the little plastic stick, one side helps you to fit it through the line, for like if you want to save the molding, or if you want it to go under the molding, you'll put the fiber line through that little hole. That helps you guide it through. But if you're just pushing it down, then the other side helps you push the fiber line in there. So like in this end right here, push it through. Now I'm gonna go on the inside. I'm gonna bring this with me just in case I need it. This one I always want to go towards the top. You don't want to let too much loose off of it, otherwise sometimes when you're cutting it, it could come undone right here. So be very careful with that. So now let's go on the inside. I'm going to go on the inside and show you my technique. Around the other side. Alright, so I'm gonna put the spider facing where I'm cutting. The reason why I'm doing this is so that it doesn't slide towards where I'm cutting. When you first start cutting, you want to be careful and make sure that I have to cover that VIN number. As you can see, when I started very, very slow. I'm covering the VIN number very well. When I have my tool like this, I get the most power out of it. And then when I come here, you can see how much easier that was. I'm gonna grab my dash protector for the transition right there on the corner. By doing that, it allows me to cut the whole bottom in with two positioning of the tool. And now you can see, I forgot one thing. Stay right there, I'll be right back. These Subarus like to have, well, they come from the factory with a clip right here. So I'm going to separate that clip. I could actually hear it where it goes right through it. So make sure that your fiber line is always close to the towards the glass. By you doing that, you're always cutting a lot smoother and you don't have a whole lot of resistance because you're cutting between the glass and the urethane. You're not digging in. So very important tip. Okay, so I don't need to remove it. I'm just gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna go to the other side and do the same thing with the clip. And this is one of my tricks that I have. You see how far down I'm going? Now with one positioning, I'm going to be able to cut the whole top. All right, so make sure that you're guiding it through. Right here on the cable, be very careful. The clip, I have to cut the clip. You actually hear it when it goes right through it. It's like a plastic separation of the glass. Sometimes it's more difficult as it gets cold. Right now it's kind of warm. Alright, so I'm gonna make my final cut. So go here. You don't have to be too close. You want the drill to fit in there properly. And I have a tip for you guys on what to use on the spider on the very end. There it is. My cut is done. So as I was saying, I'm going to show you a little at the end of the video. I don't have it here, I forgot at the shop, but a little connector so that this thing won't break anymore. It's actually, I'll tell you right now, it's a 1/4 deep socket, 1/4 on 1/4, and then you just use it. I mean, it's a socket, but it won't break like this ones do. This ones do. If you put a lot of torque in it, it could break really easy and flower out. So a socket, a deep socket, Amazon has it. I'll upload the picture maybe at the end. So far the glass is already out, so now time to prep. So let me put my cut resistant gloves. Remember that all those clips, pins that you use, they could fall inside, so be careful. They are totally reusable, so as you can see, it went in there very nice. So I got two, gotta get one more. Discipline makes a big difference. That way you don't forget things, so always have discipline. All right, so time to clean some of that dirt. When I have too much, I prefer to vacuum it, so let me get my vacuum. By the way, I got this hose from McFadden. It's longer than the one that comes from factory with the actual vacuum. To trim the urethane. You know what I see? I see a lot of dirt still left behind here, so I'm gonna clean that off really fast. You can use two things. You can use a dauber, a little water if you like. First, I'm going to use a dauber dry. I just dropped one in there. As you can see, dry. It did an amazing job already, so I don't have to do it wet for that reason. So if these moldings are ever on your way, just pull it up a little bit. That way you're trimming, it's a lot easier. Okay, so this side is clean, as you can see. I'm gonna use the same dirty dauber that I have. And please, once you're done with the daubers, throw them away. Don't get confused and use a dirty dauber to apply your primer. So that's an important tip. So one tip, these daubers have a metal, of course, that's holding it together. Be very, very careful not to push on the dauber too much, because then you could scratch the vehicle. This is the clip that I went inside and removed with the blade. Okay, so now this is all trash. The daubers, everything is trash. You just look more cleaner. Somebody walks up, a customer walks up, you don't want to have a mess in there. I usually also have my trash can on the side. You could do either or. So let me apply the primer to the areas that is needed. As you notice, I didn't really scratch the vehicle cutting out my urethane, trimming down the urethane. Right here is one coat. It's not a scratch. It's just where the bondo is. There's a little dirt, so I'm just cleaning off the dirt on the bottom of it. That way it doesn't fly off. Not really putting it on the bonding chain. I already primer my glass, so the glass is already primer. Going back to my gloves. You guys get to see something different this time. I don't have it on my head this time. Now you guys can see me from far away. Let's see if you guys like this. Put in your comments if you like it a little bit better. So now let me get my urethane ready. I'm using express urethane. It's a 1 hour safe drive away time. I don't want to give it out, but there's something new coming, exciting from Dow. Coming very, very shortly. I believe in the Auto Glass Week this year, 2017. You'll find out what that is. I'm very excited. I already got the good news. Not allowed to share that with you, but something really good is coming from now. All right, so I have to wait 2 minutes for my primer to dry. So I always want to have that in mind. As you can see, the pins, I'm going to reuse them. So let me talk about how I set up the suction cups on the glass. So what I like to do is put a cup that I'm not too far away and not too close either. Just like that I can put my elbow here. So when I set the glass, I'm able to put this here, like putting the weight into my hand, and this one guiding it where it needs to go. So that's what I look for when I put the suction cups. You can see one's kind of going down, the other one's straight up. So you'll see right now when I set the glass. My 2 minutes are up, so ready to apply my urethane. It is important to start on the passenger side. That's what my urethane manufacturer recommends. So that's what I do. Tell me to start on the passenger side because what comes out of the can first, that's what cures the fastest. So guys, I really want to remind you that having your glue gun at 90-degree angle makes a huge difference on your urethane. So especially for the guys that are shooting I shoot the glass as well, not only shoot the body, but make sure that, I mean, if you already have the glass out there, put a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle, much better. I don't know if I said 45, but no, it's 90. You just want to make sure. 90-degree angle. I like to remove the tip, clean it up. That gives me like if it's like a brand new nozzle. So when I go right over my urethane bead, my seam is flawless. I know in some cases you won't be able to, when you're shooting the urethane on the glass, you won't be able to have that 90-degree angle. But if your overall is 90, that's always best. I always try to go over about 1/8 or a little bit less when I start my new bead on top of it. Always paddle your seams. That will make a one seam. It's very important. Very, very important. You know, on this side you should actually go towards the bottom because it's the one on the outside, and then on the inside you should actually go towards the top. So one way on one and then the other way. All right, so now let's go on to the other side. So the outside going towards the bottom. If your bead of urethane is ever off, just go on the bottom and that will straighten it up for you. So now let's do our setting. So I open the door just a little bit, like especially right now that there's a car right next to me. Just open it up a little bit. You don't want to put too much weight on the actual door. See that? Don't put too much weight on your back. same for that corner. You see how the glass is, the weight's on me now? See how nice that looks. You see, nicely flush. I haven't even taped it down. This is the perfect time to deck the window. What I like about spray urethane in this heat and wet and humidity, that by the time I leave, the tape's already gone. If you ever have a little spot like on the top where the actual molding's not flush all the way down, I'll just get a little plastic stick like so and press on it, very gentle. You see how nice that looks. On this side I need a little pick, so just go really gentle. Now you have a factory looking replacement. The most important thing, you have a safe replacement, and that should be your goal every single time. So yes, first thing you got to do is plug this in, plug it in, get the cowling on. On the corner there's this little fine clip that sticks, the tab that sticks out more than the ones in the middle, right here in this corner, so pay attention on that one. So that it lets you put it in all the way, so it's not in all the way. See, I'm testing it, make sure I can move it side to side. That would tell me if it's in all the way or if it's stuck somewhere. It seems that it's stuck somewhere. So let me find out what is it. Actually in the middle where it's giving me a little trouble. Now it's just a matter of guiding your clips. Plugging in my windshield wiper fluid hose back in there. As you can see, the clips, it snapped in place. Just push them down. That's all it took to put them back in place. This clip, I like to hold it open like this so that when I guide it through, it goes in really quick. Push down. Okay. Usually the longer one goes on the driver's side, the longer blade, and then the smaller blade, of course, goes on the passenger side. This Pilkington brand, it actually has little dots tell me where the windshield wiper lines up, as well as the defroster. You can see the defroster tell me where it goes. Well, this one actually has two, and it goes right in between both of them. Don't ever over tie that. That's it. Triple check everything. Everything's pushed in, lined up. Remember that this one goes under the fender, so sometimes it's better to come down and then slide it up. There it is. Same thing on this side. Tuck it in under the fender. It also has a little tab here, kind of goes into the fender. You don't want to force this because these ones will break really easy. All right, so hang on tight. Let me put the rear view mirror on. And I had a little accident. Let me show you something I learned from right now. I put my my water here, and it actually leaked. But if I wouldn't have my dash seat protectors, I would have wet the seat. So my seat protector saved me today of having a water spot on the seat. So would highly recommend you putting some seat covers. This is a T20, very helpful. You tie things down very, very well. And that's it. Transfer stickers. I always like to put them in the rear view mirror because even if I forget, customer will see it right away. And that's it, guys. I'll clean up right now. I want to give you thank you for everybody that watches my YouTube videos, subscribe, and make a comment. Thank you. God bless.